And we are live with another episode of Brownish Live. You guys know my hilarious and beautiful. I don't know what you're doing. You're glowing right now.
I'm glowing.
I don't like it. Look at me. I'm all scrumped up. I look like I'm listen, things ain't going good. That's the look I got right now. And you come on, you're just like, what's up, everybody?
I had to kiss my shoulder,
You look like you're doing some kind of commercial for like maybe it's Maybelline, like Dove soap, something. You got that glow to you.
Oh my God. Well, and you know what's so funny? That I just had a meeting with my manager and she told me the same thing. She's like, you look like you're about to do like a commercial for like a makeup or whatever. I was like, yo, I haven't even taken a shower. So that's what's up. That's probably where the glow is. It's grasa from working out. So yeah, nah, I mean, I was just kind of been sleeping a lot.
Okay.
That helps. And also try not to stress myself as much and just enjoying the little things. And that's it. How about you? First of all. Oh, actually, I had a nervous breakdown the other day.
From what?
That's why I look great.
What happened?
I always look better after a nervous breakdown. So I went to a party and I had all my intentions of being the sober person in there, right? And they offered me drinks, they offered me weed, and I said no to both. They had like these Cheetos, so good, like these the spicy Cheetos,
and the flaming hot Cheetos,
flaming hot, and I'm eating them, like handful at a time, and I'm also hungry. Come to find out, I had THC in it, so I thought I was gonna die. I didn't think I was gonna make it this Monday.
Oh my goodness!
I was like this in the car. I was like freaking out.
How did you find out? Please tell me you weren't like licking the bowl and they're like, who ate all THC Cheetos?
No. Huh? So I didn't notice until I was leaving the party. So as I'm leaving the party, I'm joking around with my friend and I'm like, I go, I'm high. Okay, I made that move like, I'm high. And they were like, what, bitch? What are you talking about? You didn't even smoke. You didn't drink. I was high indeed for 2 days.
On some flaming hot Cheetos.
So that glow is probably like
the toxins leaving your body.
The toxins leaving my body. I think that's where the glow is coming from.
All right. I've been seeing your post, and your posts have been hilarious. I had no idea that all happened to you. The last post I saw, which had me fully entertained, dishes or dirty laundry?
Oh my God. Do you know how many comments look how many, like, dude, I didn't realize it was going to struck a chord with a lot of people.
Yeah. But anyone watching that doesn't know what we're talking about, Sasha put up a poll. What would you rather deal with, dirty dishes or dirty laundry? And you are team dirty dishes.
I'm team dirty dishes. And
I'd rather do dirty laundry.
I'm going to tell you why I hate doing laundry, right? Because you have to commit your whole day to it. Like your whole day. Like you have to, like you can't make plans. If you're going to do laundry, you can't make plans. You have to wash your clothes and it's going to be like an all day thing.
Okay, but now here's the question I have to you. And this is do you have a laundry machine and dryer in your unit? Because you're making it sound like dirty dishes, like you have to hang and you got like you're making it sound like you got to go down to a creek and with your clothes and just all you put it boom and walk away. Just walk away.
All right, check it. Right.
Go ahead.
I'm speaking for those who don't have a laundry or a washer in their apartment. Right.
I got a unit in house. I just.
Right, but if you have it in your house, you're fine. I guess like I wouldn't be complaining, but like I have to go all the way downstairs, wait for whoever motherfucking put their clothes before me to take that, which is another pet peeve of mine because I just want to grab it and just, but I can't do that. I got to be civilized. And on top of that, like I guess because sometimes the laundry, the machines are being used so much that it might not wash it the way that you want, or like it's just like you don't want to spend more money, like you know what I'm saying, like it's a lot.
So I'm going to ask you this question again once you have units inside your house.
Yeah, ask me again. Right now, I'm broke. I can't afford, a little washer and dryer.
Right.
But I think that to me, it's so tedious because somebody in my comments said it's purgatory. He's like, what? Doing laundry is purgatory because if you wash dishes, look how simple. Boom, I'm ready to go.
You just wash one dish right there. This right here, one dish.
You take a dish, you go like that, you set to go. But your laundry, you have to sit there. You have to watch it. You have to think about it.
Why are you watching your laundry? Like,
you gotta make sure it's clean.
The spin cycle, what's happening?
Yeah, you gotta put your intentions in there because my shit is like I have clothes that have so many different colors. So if I put it all together, I'm like, I hope it don't bleed. I hope it don't bleed. So I have to do a prayer over my laundry like all the time. I have to be like, God, please don't, please, I really like that shirt. Please don't, please not today. I just never know. Do you see? I'm really upset thinking about it.
I used to, first of all, growing up, I never did laundry. I started doing laundry on my own, and because like, when you get a high school job and you start buying your own clothes and stuff, my mom would shrink it. Like I would buy a shirt and then I get it back and I'm like, what'd you do? She's like, I don't got time to be looking, it's got a perfect care. She goes, Mom, I don't got time for that. So then that's why now I'm very laundry based. I go, okay, I gotta go on medium, you need a machine. We gotta get you a machine. And your whole attitude will change.
Oh my God. If you could get me a machine, if I could get a machine in this apartment, in this house or whatever, I think I would live the perfect life. I think that the only thing in my life that I feel like I've been struggling with is laundry.
I hate doing dishes. I'm anti
doing laundry.
I hate dishes.
I was who was I talking to? Oh yeah, when I was talking to D on the show on like Share D Malone, I was like, it would be a nightmare, like if let's say, I end up like my personal hell would be doing laundry. Like that would be my hell. Like imagine like doing laundry in hell and doing every demon's clothing. Like that's torture for me. That's I'm a good person.
What about going?
I'm a good person.
I love that we're having this thing in hell now. What about going to hell? There's a huge dinner party, and now you gotta do all these dishes. And there's some people that don't scrape the plate. There's some people, There's some people put their gum on the plate. You gotta watch all that.
I'll be fine with that.
What? Your hands get all pruny. The sponge starts smelling. Come on. I ain't got time for
honestly, it's not that bad. All you gotta do is throw the food in the garbage. So so let's say we in hell, right? Let's just say we're in hell.
Oh yeah, no, you scrape it, but not everybody does that. You talking about
right? But this is what I'm saying. This is the setup I'm thinking already in hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go there. That's I'm a good person again. So we already in hell, right?
Okay.
Everybody ate.
Right.
The plates are on the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
The food is on the table. I take the plate, throw the food in the trash, get the washing. What I don't like is when people come to your house, eat, and then put their whole plate with
food and everything.
Those people, they should get arrested. They should go to jail.
Who raised you? I go to people's houses.
Go to jail.
Like I'll go to people's houses that like they have help. And like and I still like no, my mom would. I feel like my mom's always around the corner just waiting. Like, Is that how I raised you? Like, nope.
I'm telling you. Once you throw the food in the garbage, it's not that bad.
That's it. We gotta talk about your washing technique. Clean. I'm never eating anything off any of your dishes when I go. Sasha, why this plate got stains all around it? I did this. I don't know what this is. Oh my God!
Just think about it. It's not that bad.
But anyway, we got a great show today. I'm excited. This person we got coming in. They dropped the movie during COVID. They dropped the movie during pandemic. not only did they drop a movie, but they dropped a genre. First of all, let's start here. All Latino cast. This dude is Latino, and he went into a genre that we don't usually see ourselves in. It's always white people and one black person, and the black person always gets killed off right away. This dude went all in. He goes, you know what? We're gonna have a Latino horror thriller right here. So let's give it up for Luis Iga Garza. What's going on, man?
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh no! But before we get started, dude, are you team dishes or team laundry? What do we?
I'd say dishes.
Really?
Yeah, it's quick, man. It's quick. It's like you eat, you stop, boom, done. Yeah.
This right here.
Done. Yeah. Yeah, the laundry thing is like, yeah, you gotta do, then you gotta wait, then you gotta go, and then you put in the dryer, and then you gotta fold the clothes. It's like too much, man.
Fold the clothes, exactly. I forgot to say that. You see, Luis gets it. Fold the clothes.
Folding,
and then put it away.
Yeah, I think I'd rather
Do you not put your dishes away?
Yeah, but you put the dishes away like this. You don't have to like fold it and then put it. No, it's like you just put it.
Exactly.
Boom, done. No folding dishes.
That's true.
I feel like you both live in the lifestyle where you pick something off of the ground that's clean enough to put it on. That'll work. I don't gotta do laundry for another 2 weeks. That's clean.
Especially right now, you can't go out. So what's the point, right?
What are you gonna do? Right, exactly.
Like nobody's gonna smell you. It's not like people can smell you through. There's no smell-o-vision yet. So hey.
Yo, one of my followers said that they don't have a cart, so they just put all of their laundry in the bag, and then they're just walking around like if they're homeless. He's like, I just look at somebody who's running away from home all the time. I hate it. But yeah. So talking about all this stuff and knowing that you dropped a freaking horror film during these times, how did that come about?
Oh man, it's been almost 6 year journey, to tell you the truth. This we shot this movie in 2015. It's a totally independent. It's like mostly Latinos behind the camera, and all Latinos other than Kate. Kate's actually from Algeria.
Oh really?
Yeah, so it's all people of color anyway. So and also the financing is all Latino. So it's a micro budget movie, and you just it's fully independent. And we shot it 2015, and it was just the finishing funds, getting editing, getting the sound, getting the music, getting everything done, and then we hit the festival circuit in 2018, and then we're supposed to release it in 2019, but the financing fell through, and because we decided also to release it independently, and that's what we did. So this time around, we were gonna go into about 200 screens pre-COVID time. Release it Labor Day weekend, and until all those plans went down the drain once COVID hit. But we already had our deal with In Demand, so we had to release it in September 18 digitally. So then during COVID, we saw the opportunity on the drive-ins, and a lot less competition from the studios. So we're able to book some drive-ins and then theaters, and we're actually now. We were 6 weeks in theaters, and then we were off for 2 weeks, and we went back to theaters the week before Halloween, and we're in theaters again this weekend, and we're going to be in theaters again next weekend. They held us over, so we're so far we're going to be 9 weeks in theaters. So it's been great.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. And what has been because everything I've seen has been so super positive. Have you gotten the same with the reception of the movie?
Yeah. I mean, the critics get it. I mean, this is not an Oscar nominated. This is just a fun movie to have a good time. This is one of my favorite slashers. Are my favorite genres in the horror genre because it's fun. It's like a fully horror, spiritual, like crazy. You're tense all the time. Slashers have characters that you're relating to. You're laughing. They're quirky, and then you get scared, and then there's always a whodunit component, trying to figure out who did this or who's doing this. So for me, that's why I like this genre. And yeah, like you said, I never saw growing up. I grew up seeing like all your typical Scream. I know what you last summer. And then on the Mexican side, I love watching El Santo, the Santo movies. Like B type movies, especially the ones that have horror, like Las Mujeres Vampiro and Contra las Momias and all that. So 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 the writer Yelena, my producing partner, we met at USC, and we were like, we grew up watching this movie, and says let's do one that just having all Latinos, and that's been our goal throughout, is to make content that involves Latinos behind the camera and in front of the camera, because it's important to tell our perspective, our stories. Right away when you look at some of these movies that happen to be Latino or from other cultures, you can tell that they've been done by a Google search.
Right.
Like that's how people now find out. Oh, so what is the culture like here? So let me Google it, and then that's the research, right? So when you have Latinos and people of color or different backgrounds writing the content, they bring a different point of view, because obviously they have different experiences, right? The way we're raised, the way La Llorona, like all these stories that they tell us, El Cucuy, like all these stories that they tell us, they're part of our culture. Day of the Dead, like Happy Day of the Dead today, by the way, Del Día de Muertos.
Today. Día de los Muertos.
Feliz Día de los Muertos. So it's so that's what you bring in when you have a diverse crew and a diverse cast, and so it's so yeah, we have positive people are having fun with it. Danny Trejo was great. He and all our cast is great. I mean, a lot of these actors have, Chelsea Rendon have done a lot of work prior to this, but the rest of, I mean, and like Soledad Sangilier and obviously Danny Trejo and Kurt Caceres and Rolando Molina, they've done a lot of work prior to this movie. But our stars of the movie, our main cast, Chelsea was the one with the most experience at the time, but the other actors didn't have a lot of experience. Actually, Jordan D'Ambrini was his first project, and yeah, Kate had done some stuff, but not a lot. Who else? Catherine Toribio had done a little bit, but now, so since 2015 till now, they've done a lot of stuff. I mean, Chelsea was in Vida, Kate was in Empire. Jeanette did another movie that a friend of mine directed. So it's so no, they're very talented up and coming actors, and so it was great to have them, and they did a great job, and they were very supportive, because like I said, it's a micro budget movie. We're like shooting in February in Topanga Canyons. It was cold. It was like it was like 32, 28 up in the mountains. So, and we were shooting overnight because we didn't have the budget to shoot like day for night. So it was
right.
So it was just like everybody was a trooper, and
which is hilarious, because watching the movie, you have them like they're going up, and I don't want to give away too much because I want people to go see it, but like they're going up to celebrate Chelsea's birthday. So they're like in mini skirts and stuff. Now I'm thinking back, I'm like, yo, it probably was freezing, and wow.
So we had parkas on them, and as soon as we're about to shoot, we'll take them off. But yeah, so during there's a couple of takes where you can actually see the fog coming out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So how many degrees was it at that time?
It's like 28 or 30.
28, and they acted like it was warm the whole time.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a summer fun weekend getaway.
You got really good professional actors. That's really good.
No, I mean everybody was a trooper. Like everybody knew that what they were signing for. So they were, I mean, they were amazing. And for me as a director and as a producer, it was very important for this movie to go to theaters and showcase these beautiful brown faces, right? So I'm super proud of them that have the poster, the poster behind me, all over the nation and all the theaters, the trailer being played in theaters. So, so I'm super proud of them, and also to give them the exposure they deserve. And also a lot of Latinos that are seeing the movie, they're getting inspired, because a lot of them didn't know they could do this, right?
It's one of those things, like I said when I was bringing you in, like you don't really see Latinos in horror movies.
Yeah.
So sometimes because we don't see it, we go, oh, that's not for us. We can never create that. So it's amazing to see you did this large Latino cast. So now people coming up can go, oh, I could write a horror movie, or I could do it. Like Jordan Peele is doing that now in the horror space, where the Black community can go, oh, we can also do horror. We don't have to be the token guy in the movie that just gets killed off in the first 10 minutes. Yeah. We can also do these things.
Yeah, and in this movie, because we don't, everybody's brown, right? Everybody's people of color. The killer doesn't know who to kill first, right?
Right.
It's like, who I kill? It's confused. It's like all of a sudden it's confused.
I gotta know how it ends.
Oh, you gotta watch it. Sasha, you gotta watch it.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not gonna
have
lie to you guys. Quick confession: growing up, I never watched horror movies. Like my mother, she was uber religious, Pentecostal Christian, and she would like. I remember horror movies was a thing. Like all my friends at school, like, oh, we saw The Exorcist. Oh, we saw Poltergeist, Nightmare on Elm Street, and I knew the characters, but I didn't ever see it because my mom was like, oh. Sí, vamos a entrar el diablo aquí. I'm like, no, it's just a movie, mom.
Yeah, right.
It was the same for me actually. A lot of the horror I was allowed to watch it at home, so I would go to my friend's house to watch a lot of these movies.
Yeah, that's what you do. You go to your friend's house and watch what
Yep.
you're not supposed to be watching.
Yep, it was the best.
So now after, go ahead, Sasha.
No. Like I was just gonna ask him, like, you know, since you were a kid, like, did you always want to make horror films? Was that like a dream for you?
I always wanted to make movies. Like when I was about 7 years old, I saw Star Wars and I fell in love with the make believe of, you know, creating these worlds. And I love building models. Like I used to buy the models and build them and play with them. And for me, just when you would see behind the scenes of Star Wars, you would see how everything was a model. It was a little models. It was stump animation. And that's so the special effects, VFX got me into it. And then in the horror, and once I started watching, you know, I was older, started watching, you know, slashers. I just loved the blood and playing with so I would buy my own makeup kits and I would put the bullet, the cut, all the prosthetics, and I would enjoy that a lot. So that's how I got into this genre. And also, you know, like I said, it's a fun genre because it's you know, it's usually, you know, high school, college kids. So, you know, attractive people, you relate to them, especially, you know, it's for a younger demographic. And, you know, it's like a Blumhouse, like a Latino Blumhouse, you know, you can say this movie type of thing. So that's what inspired it. You know, growing up and going on dates and watching these movies and just, and they're also so much fun to make. Like they're scary, but on set everybody's laughing.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a micro budget, you know, you only have like 2 shirts that you can get bloody. That's it. So you have 2 takes, buddy. That's it. Like you gotta get it right. And then the blood goes this way instead of the other way. And you know, and so it's full of surprises. So.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite horror film? What was your favorite slasher?
I mean, Scream for me was one of the first ones that I saw, and I liked it more than, I mean, Halloween was great too, but I think Scream, I saw it because it was, you know, as teenagers, it was more in my, and I love the fact that, you know, how the movie played out about all these stereotypes and it's a great movie. The original, I love the original.
Okay.
You know, yeah. So.
Okay. So now that Murder in the Woods is out, is there any plans? Like, you know, you're still in theaters, and I don't want you to think too far ahead. But is there any plans for a follow-up movie? Because like a lot of times you see these slasher horror movies, and they have the sequels and 3s and 4s and 5s.
Well, I mean, that's the goal. Eventually, hopefully, some studios like we want to make. You know, somebody is like he wants to see what happens next, right? So it would be great to have a studio. However, you know, just to take another 5 years to make the next one, it's, you know, it's a lot of work and a lot of time. So we're hoping some studio or some distributor wants to, you know, see what happens next. But, you know, so when you watch the movie, you'll see what we did about that. But yeah, the goal is hopefully to make a sequel and keep giving opportunity to these actors. So.
Nice. So now I was curious, like, because I think this is the first time you see, you know, when you watch the movie, you watch Danny Trejo, who's usually like this almost bad guy, but when you open up, he's a good guy. He's a sheriff.
Yeah.
Because when I saw the poster, I was like, oh, that's the bad guy right there. And then he's a sheriff. You're like, wait a second.
Well, I mean, it's so he's a sheriff. I mean, but the goal also was to, you know, have no stereotypes in this movie. I mean, we have the archetypes of the genre, right? You got the pretty girl, the dork, you know, we have all the archetypes of the genre, but we don't have the stereotypes that usually Latinos are portrayed, or even Danny Trejo. He's always, you know, the first thing people want Danny Trejo for is his tattoos, right? So
Yeah.
every they want him, they want him without his shirt, or there's at least one shot without his shirt on, right? So it was also our goal to not change those stereotypes. It's like Danny Trejo's a cop, why not? The sheriff,
Yeah.
but it's a creepy sheriff, so you don't know what happens with him,
Right.
too.
So. So now, you guys did the pandemic release. You're in theaters now. Do you see theaters reopening back up once COVID is done? Are people gonna flock back? Like that's always my curiosity, because like I hear people starting to go. I personally, I'm like, I don't know yet.
I think so. I mean, if you look at the measures that they're taking, because I went to Las Vegas to Maya Cinemas there. I mean, they have social distancing, so you're spread apart. There's the theaters only. I think California has a 25. It's by county, but I think most California counties have 25% capacity.
Right.
So only 25% or 25 people. Like even if you have an auditorium of 200 seats, the most you can fill is 25 people. In Las Vegas, is 50 people or 50%, whatever's less. So so if you're wearing a mask and watching the movie, there's really you're not really, the germs. If you take your mask off, that might be more risk. But again, you're so fall apart that I don't think, I think it's obviously if you're like an older person, a higher risk person, obviously not.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do it. But but alternative, obviously the drive-ins are a great alternative right now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like drive-ins or maybe even outdoor theaters.
Outdoor theaters, yeah. So there's a lot of people that are doing pop-ups and projecting in their backyard and everything. However, for R-rated movies, it's more challenging. Like you cannot just do a pop-up and sell tickets. I mean, you can do it at home, no problem, but you cannot do like a pop-up and sell tickets because when it's R-rated, it has to be secluded. Like not any, like if you're in like a Walmart like parking lot, you can't do it because you can see it from anywhere, right? So when it's R-rated, it needs to be in a place where it's either an industrial area, like all the most of the drive-ins here in LA, and the surrounding area are in secluded areas or like industrial areas where there's no homes, and then it's okay. But other than that, the screen should not have access from outside when it's R-rated. So
I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like the best place to watch a scary movie, but also that's how scary movies start. Let's go to the secluded place and watch this movie.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, no.
So we played at the Vineland, and it was surreal, man. So the screen that we're at the Vineland, there's actually a train track behind it. So as I'm watching the movie, right, all of a sudden this train just goes by behind the screen. It was pretty surreal. It was pretty cool. It was actually, it was a great experience. But yeah, I mean, that's slashers. That's how so this movie's a throwback, right? It's the way you always want to challenge the genre in a certain way, right? So the way we challenged the genre was with the casting, because it's never been done before. And we do have some twists and turns and a good twist, and people that keep people entertained. But our main objective was to challenge the genre by the casting and confuse the hell out of the killer, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's awesome, man. So I don't want to leave the movie, but let's switch gears a little bit here. What other stuff have you been working on during this whole pandemic? I know you're out there, you're doing the interviews. I've seen you pushing the movie, but has there been anything else on your plate, or is that just it?
So at the beginning of the pandemic, I actually, when everything closed down, I was like, how can we stay creative? So I actually I did a puppet sock show webisode series called Billy the Sock, and it's in YouTube. And I had so it was just I was in Miami at the time. I got stuck there, so I decided to stay there at my friend's place. And he would do the voice and he would do the sock, and I would shoot it, and then we just came out with stories and did this sock that's freaking out because of the pandemic. He used to be a YouTube star, but then somebody released us. He was a kid's YouTube star, but then there was a sex tape released, and so his career went down the drain.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny.
So it's like a kid show showing kids about and they have but then he ends up being this like real creepy guy, this creepy sock, and so he's looking for drugs during quarantine. He's looking for
That's
women.
so funny. That's so funny. That's so funny. Have you thought about maybe like doing a little section for him like on TikTok? You know what I mean, so that people could come and watch it.
Yeah, so that was the goal. I actually did a bunch of like happy birthdays that I was gonna send to my friends, but I haven't been able to cut them because then the movie release came along, like the opportunity to like boom. So I had to fly to LA and I've been just focusing because I'm also the distributor, like focusing 24/7 on all the trailers, everything that you see, all the little clips, everything is done right behind me.
Yeah,
right.
So I've been focused on that, but the goal is to bring Billy back now. The movie's moving away. Is bring Billy the Sock back to have some fun.
So how is the distribution process since you are the distributor?
So we had offers from distributors, but because the movie is not Latino, it's a general market movie. They just happen to have brown people, right? People of color. So when all the studios now have like a Latino division. So as soon as you go to them, they send you to the Latino division. And a lot of the times the Latino division is looking for Spanish content. And it was just they didn't understand the movie. Like they didn't know what to do with it. So when I started realizing that we would get offers and I would talk to them about the vision and the things and they wouldn't get it. And before I was a filmmaker, I was a graphic artist and I was in marketing. So I have about 10 years of experience in marketing and graphic design. So like the website of the like I said, all the graphics, the website, everything's done by me. So instead of getting a distributor involved where they're going to charge a bunch of fees and about things, and if I already know what they're going to do, might as well do it myself. And then so I ended up learning the theatrical distribution business. It's a very old school way. So I met a lot of the film buyers and all get the link on the deliverables and how the theaters are booked and all that jazz. And then on the VOD side, I look for an aggregator that had that could give us a good deal, because on the VOD side, you have to go through somebody that already has relationships with the platforms, because the platforms want content from proven content, right? Content that they already know it's on spec, it's not gonna glitch, the sound is perfect, like all those things, right? So even if you sell a project directly to like a movie that's already done through Netflix is gonna send you to an aggregator to deliver it to them, right? Because the aggregator is gonna do the QC and make sure you have all the the subtitles, everything is up to par to the specs of Netflix or whatever the platform is. So I ended up finding this guy, and they've done that has the deal with the platforms, and so he aggregated the movie for us and delivered it to everybody. And iTunes, Amazon, Vudu, Fandango Now, Kaleidoscope, In Demand, all the cable boxes. So it was but I had to deliver everything from here. I had to do the deliverables for the VOD side, and then the deliverables for the theatrical side to create the DCP, and then create the multiple language DCPs, because the movie's actually being shown in Spanish. We dubbed it in Spanish. So the movie's actually being shown in theaters in some theaters in Spanish, like Maya Cinemas.
Wow, that's
Spanish
amazing.
version. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So because again, that was the goal of the content that we're creating, is to create content, for a general market, but also accessible to Latinos. And it's so funny because when I went to the platforms with the multilingual idea, they didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
Because they're not Netflix. Like Netflix has that ability because they're on their own platform. But if you go to Amazon or the other ones, they don't have the ability. They have the ability to do multiple language subtitles, but not dubbing.
Right.
You actually have to upload a whole new movie, and it becomes a separate SKU. So we didn't want to do that because then it was going to confuse the audience, because you would search for Burn in the Woods and it would have two, like, So we ended up just releasing on VOD the English one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
For now. So now we're looking. There's some Spanish platforms, purely Spanish, that we're talking to right now to release the Spanish version.
Okay.
That's amazing. I love that, you are taking a very hands-on approach. Like you said, you from the graphics to the editing to just every little thing. And that's, I think Sasha and I have talked about that during this whole pandemic. Like, it's the perfect time that even if you don't have those skills, to sort of teach yourself the skills, because at the end of the day, you want to have as much hands-on as you can with a project, because if you have a vision, you're the only person that can carry it out the way you want it, instead of sending it to somebody and they send it back and you're like, nah, that's not what I had in mind. Like, so as much as you can learn and really be hands-on is super amazing.
And it was a great learning experience, and yeah, I mean, we it's like, it's been this 5 years have been a huge learning experience, because again, every artist, we just want to create our product and then give it to somebody and just like, we just want to keep creating. Right. But sadly, it didn't happen to us, so I had to stay on top of things so I could keep. Trust me, man, if I would have just given the movie to a big distributor and they, that would have been amazing. But we weren't getting, and again, because everybody works so hard, all the talent, I wanted this movie not to get lost in the pile, right? And just do like a little VOD release, and people maybe find it in 2-3 years from now. So that's why I work so hard to give it visibility, and because everybody sacrificed so much and gave so much that they deserved it.
So what is an advice that you would give to someone that is a director and creator? What is something that they must know in going through the process that you've gone through?
Perseverance. I mean, we've had a lot of no's, and a lot of times it's demoralizing, right? So you're like, I'm done, about to throw the towel, and just trust, believe in yourself. It's art. Some people are gonna love it, some people are gonna hate it. It's art. That's subjective. It's not math, right? So you have to grow thick skin, and it's just about perseverance. If somebody says no, keep pushing, and somebody doesn't get it, then do it yourself. And it's now easier than ever to get yourself out there. You have all these channels now. I mean, you got TikTok, you got YouTube, you have Facebook, you got Instagram, so you can just create your content and be persistent and be proactive, and people will find you. Some people, it's here's, I think, why there's not a lot of Latinos in the industry too, is because, for the most part, Latinos that come to this country, we don't have the same, we're not rich. Like, we don't have the same backing that, other people have. So because this industry is about perseverance, I mean, if you work hard and you do good stuff, like, people will find you, but they might find you in a year. They might find you in 20 years.
That's true.
So how are you going to, finance yourself or eat during those 20 years, right? So it depends. I mean, some people get found in, like I said, in like maybe a year. So, like, it's like the guy that wrote the King's Speech. He was in his 60s, right? So it's like, so you just have to stay, be constant, and it's a challenge, but it's demoralizing again, and you cannot be comparing yourself, because that's going to ruin you.
Oh yeah, I tell people all the time, because me and Sasha come from the comedy world, but it's that thing. It's like, you can't look at what the person next to you is doing, because everyone's path is different. Like, you look at somebody like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle hit when he was like 18. Yeah, which is crazy. And then you look at someone like George Lopez. George didn't hit till he was 40. Yeah. So you can't go, what's this person doing? Because that person's path is so much different than yours. Yeah. Like, you could hit at 20 or you could hit at 40, but you got to keep going.
You got to keep going.
You got to keep going. Exactly. And that's so it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? So so it's about the perseverance, getting, I live very minimalistic, so it's how much are you willing to sacrifice, right?
Right.
So I have, I live in a studio. I pay very little rent, and I don't have a lot of things, so it's just a lot of overhead. So that way I can work the minimum amount of time for money, so I can focus on the other projects while they're sold and all that.
Right.
So
That makes sense.
so
See, that's why he picked dishes. He's minimalistic. He only got one dish.
That's what I'm saying.
Just one.
Just one dish, and
That's
you don't have
right.
to fold the dish. You don't have to.
Right. Exactly.
So I think that would be it. It's like, don't give up, support each other. It's like, I really appreciate Eric reaching out to me for this, and it's like, if we don't support each other, nobody's gonna support us. It's like, we have to stick together, and just, if you see a Latino project, support it. Even like Chelsea says this all the time, which I do, is like, whenever you have a Latino, even if you don't like it, just turn it on and leave it on.
Let it play in the background. Yep.
Yeah, it's playing in the background.
Eric says all the time too,
while you're doing your dishes, or while you're doing your laundry.
Because not every project is gonna be for you, but if you can support it, like Netflix had that show, The Expanding Universe of Ashley Garcia, which is a kids show. And I thought it was cute, but I'm not gonna sit down and watch it. But you know what? Put it on.
Yeah.
Let it run, because now I'm at least helping her out and giving her that view. And helping them with the data, But I love, that not only in the cast, but you have people behind the camera. I feel like the tide is changing in the industry, where we're starting to see Latinos, sort of support each other and work together, which is a beautiful thing. And I think, the change is coming.
Yeah, and we're a lot. I mean, we have a lot of. I mean, that's the other thing, is like, we don't, because they're always been oppressing us. Right? It's like, we don't understand the power that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Latinos say, I don't go to work today, nobody eats.
Right.
Nobody eats. The crops go to waste.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I mean, all the farm workers, man, that they're all Latinos, man. Like, all the farm workers, from different parts of Mexico, Central America, like, they're all Latinos. So it's like, we have a lot of power. If they go on strike, those crops are gonna go to waste. Nobody's gonna eat in this country.
That's true.
So we have a lot of power we're the ones that buy the most tickets to go to the movies. So we just need to stick together and help each other, and we can change a lot of things, because we have a lot of power. We're probably by now, like, what, 65 million, I'm guessing, Latinos in the US. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're looking at us to hit you back with that fact. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what aggregator means.
I have there's a report that I have from CNBC from 2017, and it's about 60. So right now, I'm guessing by now, and that was based on the previous census, right? So I'm guessing right now we're about 65. About 40 are Mexican. At the time, about 8 were Puerto Rican, like 3 Cuban. So so we have a lot of power, and it's about making it count, and helping each other, and working and collaborating, and even the financiers in this project, they're Latinos.
Wow. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, they're from El Salvador, the majority of them. So. Yeah, so it's like, I have all the Salvadorians helping a Mexican, and then, so a lot of the actors, like Soledad is from Panama, Rolando, I think, is also from Salvador, Jose Julian, Chelsea, they're Mexican-American. So it's a very, Janet Saman is also Mexican. So it's like, it's a melting pot of Latinos that we have, and we just have to help each other.
Right. No, that's amazing. And like, I know you're still busy promoting. You still got, another week in theaters, but I really do hope that you've taken a moment to realize that achievement of, like, what you've done, not only for the movie, but for the community as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually, when I saw the poster, I started crying when I saw the poster on the website of the movie theater. When the first time it went up, and I was like, holy guacamole. I was like, wow, it hit me. It's like, it's been a long journey since I was 7. I've always wanted to see that. And then when I went to Las Vegas and I saw the poster on the, coming soon, or now showing, now playing, with the lights around it. And, so that was very,
accomplishment.
Yeah,
because I think a lot of times we downplay those achievements, because we're we grew up in homes where like your parents are like, oh no, you got to keep working, you can't look up, you just got to keep your head down, keep working. I'm guilty of that too. Like my wife will be like, hey, you're on this streaming platform, like I guarantee you there's less than 20 Latinos on this, like you should take that accomplishment in. And it's like, oh wow,
that's true.
I didn't even think about it like that.
Oh,
like
I love her.
Like Sasha D, that they have their show on Fuse. Like, take that moment, because there's not a lot of those shows. And you guys are doing it, and sometimes we don't take that into consideration because we're like, no, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? You sometimes have to take that moment, just take that in, and go, okay.
Yeah, and everything, no matter what it is a springboard, man. It's again, like you said, everybody has a path, right? So your path is this. You have to be doing this to learn something, obviously, that is going to benefit you in the future, right? So it's about paths, and some people have a shorter path, some have a longer path, some people have more to learn, some less to learn. So it's just about sticking to it, and I'm guilty I'm so guilty like you. Like I have a lot of I'm always so busy, and people tell me, dude, you just realize you did this. I'm like, yeah, who cares? I want to, I need to because our mentality of success is tied to something, right? Like, unless I'm freaking, George Lucas or Steven Spielberg, that's when I can be saying, oh my God, I'm great. But you don't have to wait till then. But I'm guilty, man. I'm guilty. Like I'm guilty. I'm always like, not enough, not good enough, not good enough. I'm like,
because you realize there's going to be some young filmmaker coming up in a couple of years that goes, oh man, if I could just be Luis Iga Garza.
You're like making people's favorite movie right now. You know what I'm saying? Like people are gonna watch and be like, I probably love it, and be like, this is my favorite movie.
That'd be awesome.
Making people's favorite movies.
That's actually I like I said, I've never thought about that, but that feels it feels rewarding. And so there was this so I'm also doing I'm helping. So Jimmy Sauces, he's also an influencer, but he supports Latino restaurants. So he goes and he's a chef himself, and he does tacos, and he's known by his salsas. He has amazing tasting salsas. And so he goes to East LA to little like mom and pop shops, and he promotes them, and a lot of people go and flock in. Mm-hmm. And so when I met him, he interviewed me about the movie, and this guy has such a good personality. I'm like, I was like, this guy, I gotta do something with this guy. So I ended up doing, so we are going to go this weekend to Rosarito to cover some Latino places, and we're gonna keep doing little food shows, promoting Latino eateries, Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be, so that's something that I'm looking forward to, because I'm a foodie.
That's gonna be great.
Because I'm a foodie, so it's so I'm excited about that. About finding good restaurants in LA and showcasing eateries, and he's done a great job. I mean, people thank him all the time because he goes to a food truck and takes a little video, and all of a sudden they are dude, we sold out. We used to sell out at 5, now we're selling out at 3, like things like that. So it's very
amazing.
It's really cool. So it's the same thing, the same guy that got me the investors. He's also an investor in Murder in the Woods. Wilson, he's from El Salvador. He's the guy that actually introduced me to Jimmy. So Wilson is also an amazing person. He has a restaurant called Caveman Kitchen, and I met him because when I was in film school, I go to a restaurant. I don't know the guy. I'm like, hey, I'm shooting a short film. I'm producing, and we need food. We need free food so we can put the money into the screen, right? So he ended up catering a lot of my student films, and so we built that great relationship. And he saw my passion, and he introduced me to other investors, and then that's how Murder in the Woods ended up happening.
That's amazing, man.
I can't wait to watch it. Honestly,
so hope you like it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Well, Luis, before we let you go, we'll tell everybody, if they're not going to go to theaters and stuff, how they can watch the movie.
So we are in all platforms. We are on Amazon, Google Play, iTunes, Vudu, Fandango, Kaleidoscope. We're also on all the cable boxes on Spectrum, on Comcast. So, but if you go to our website, murderinthewoodsmovie.com, we have the links to all the platforms. There, and also we have the list of theaters. If you're in San Antonio, we're still playing in San Antonio. in Bakersfield, and where else we're playing? In Atlanta, in the Chicago, outside Chicago area. So yeah, but video on demand, we're everywhere in the United States and Canada. So if you scroll down a little bit, there you go.
Look at that. No excuse, people. Apple TV, Prime, Vudu, Fandango, Google. You have one of those. Don't tell me you don't. You got one of those.
Well, you have to have one of those. So yeah, so it's very exciting. We have great recognition from the critics. So we just went up to 82. So I have to update now all the graphics to 82.
That's amazing. 82% on
Yes!
Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes.
And a great cast. We've had Chelsea on the show. She's a great friend of the show. Danny Trejo. He's always great in everything he's done. So go check it out. And then, yeah, man, we look forward to any other projects you got coming out. More horror, thriller, and then Billy the Sock.
Yeah, Billy the Sock, and yeah, there's another action movie that I'm writing, and another horror film that I'm pitching right now. This is written by other guys that I partner with, but it's a great. It happens in New Orleans, plantation, scary zombie, some zombie. So yeah. So
if you need a zombie with flawless skin, right there.
No, why a zombie? I don't want a zombie with a flawless skin. We need
boo.
We need talent. We need good looking talent in front of the camera. So
yeah, I could die. I could scream, ah! I'm gonna die like this.
No, but you know how important. I mean, I know we got to go, but that's one of the actors when we're doing the audition process in Murder in the Woods. The reason we casted him, it was like when he, we had him, die on, perform like he was dying. And, Yelena and I were like, this guy has died before. Like, he knows how to die. I mean, this guy has died before. Like, he's like, before his last breath, he's like, Mama. And that's another thing. I have all the audition tapes, right? So I'm gonna put some of that on the once we go next year, we're gonna release the Blu-ray. So I'm gonna put some of that content in there.
That's awesome.
It's really it's crazy.
I'm really, looking it up and see how I could download it. I should have watched this on Halloween. This is perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, for Halloween.
You was busy with the Cheetos.
I
was
busy with the Cheetos.
Horror, my own emotional horror, but definitely I'm gonna watch it.
Today is Dia de Muertos, so you're still in.
Perfect.
I'm gonna watch it today.
There you go. Sasha, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram. You guys can find me on Twitter, Triller, and TikTok. And also you go catch me on Fuse TV. Like, share, Dimelo. Today is the episode at 11 p.m. So it's called Adulting. What is it being an adult? What is it to become an adult? Right?
Monday to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go check it out. Also, I don't like that you're being very humble and quiet about this, but November doesn't this little
HBO
movie come out in November?
What?
Yes. So this film is dropping in 2 days. It's called De Lo Mio, and it's starring me and D Nasty. Her real name is Darlene Demarizi, and it's about these two girls from Washington Heights that come to New York. That go to Dominican Republic to sell their grandmother's house, and they meet with their estranged brother because they are from same dad, but they grew up different. And it's a story about family and love and all that.
I don't like that. I gotta promote you. Oh, I
forgot.
I got so many things. I got flawless skin. No, I forget about my movies.
I'm a flawless ass skin. You feel me?
I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max. It's gonna be on HBO Max.
Perfect.
HBO Max, make sure you go see that. Drops in 2 days. But tonight, go watch Like, Share, Dimelo on Fuse and go follow her. She's hilarious. And go settle this debate: dishes or dirty laundry?
Yeah.
Yes, please. You
guys can find me at Erik Rivera Comedy on all social media. And you know what? I'm also on HBO Max. Go check out my half-hour Super White, still streaming. So sign up if you don't have it. Sign up. You can watch De Lo Mio, Super White, and then cancel it.
Yeah,
done.
That like you like
For free.
like that
For free, like that.
Just give up 2 Starbucks coffees, and you get a whole month of HBO.
That's
Look
true.
at that. That's the way. See, look, I like the way he thinks.
Like,
that's true.
yeah. So.
Thank you so much, Luis, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you all next week.
All right,
Awesome.
guys.
Bye.